Of course, Harada has come out with more news that has me raising my eyebrows. Like, okay, bro, like if you say so. So people ran up on him and was like, "Hey, Harada, what you got on my Tekken 3, homie?" And basically, he was just like, he just said some stuff that I'm just kind of like, man, whatever. So basically, he's basically just saying it would probably be too difficult to make Tekken Tag 3. I mean, the way that they've took Tekken now, with the rage drives, rage arts, the heat mechanics and all that other stuff. Basically, what he was saying back in the day when it came to like Tekken Tag 2, that the game was just too complicated. It was too complex. It was too much. And like the top players were able to have a lot of fun with it, but the people who got into it was just like, man, I got to learn two characters. Man, I got to learn drive rage. Man, I got to learn how to defend myself against all these characters. Um, you know what? Let me read what he said verbatim. He said, so it's not like it was planned to have a tag series appear at a certain 12-year cycle or anything. It's just that originally when the first tag came out, Tekken was a much simpler franchise back then. Much less characters than we have now on the roster, all different gameplay systems and all these things that have been added since Tekken was made. The base game is much more complex. It would be quite difficult to make a new installment of the tag series that many people will be able to enjoy, because top tier players who are competing worldwide would spend a lot of time in the Tekken at like the highest level of the player base. They love the series, but for the people who are much more casual, the game will be difficult to pick up. If it's something is not something we're currently thinking of, because the direction we're going into is to try to have as many people enjoy the game as possible. Basically, he's saying, I want that money, so if it ain't gonna sell, I ain't worry about it. But at the same time, maybe if we were to add a new idea rather than tag, it could be something like a team battle or another twist of a current game format of the game. This is basically what this man just said, man. Anyway, um, man, y'all, you got it there. How you feel? How you feel about what he's saying about a possible Tekken Tag 3? The fact that he ain't even thinking about it. The fact that if it ain't gonna make me monies, I ain't thinking about it. How you feel about it, man?
I mean, you gotta think. You gotta look at like the last game didn't do that well. Tekken Tag 2 didn't do that well. So like that's already thinking like, well, are people going to even be interested in the third one? And games cost a lot more money to make nowadays. So it's like, well, you invest all this money into it, and then the third game doesn't do well. It's like, well, we just laid an egg out there, and nobody, So I see where he's coming from on that front. And I get it. Like if they were to make a Tekken Tag Tournament 3, you would probably have to add all the stuff that's been in the previous game, because that's really what those games are, just an amalgamation of like all the games and mechanics, characters. You got to put the characters from. He's gonna have like 100 characters in it. He's gonna have all DLC characters: Negan, Akuma, Eliza, Geese, Noctis, all these characters. Fakram. It's gonna have Drive, probably Bound, Screwdriver. It's gonna have Rage Art, Rage Drive. It's gonna have all this stuff in it. Heat mechanic. It's gonna have heat engagers, and that's gonna be a lot for all them characters. The balance of it, like to try to make, man, that game gonna be like Smash Brothers, like Melee, like a game where somebody probably just run the game. You got two characters run the game. It's like, this is it. And he mentioned somewhat a team battle. I'm guessing team battle. He means like
KO style. Like everybody got a turn.
Yeah, I can see that. I was also thinking he just meant like maybe you have a format where it's like just this is like a actual team game where like you got Anakin and JDCR versus Arslan Ass and Poke Chop. Like they both control the butch. That was already kind of a thing anyway, but maybe just like dive more into that. Like, hey, we're focusing on this being a team aspect game. I don't know if that would work. It'd be cool, I think, to at least venture into it, but. And I also do agree with him saying, like, if we do this game and add all these mechanics, but this is just true for fighting games in general. Like, people going to play the game. If they're not invested into it, they're going to complain and like, man, I'm not good. And I've been playing like 2 hours. I'm not good yet, man. I'm quit, So that's not even just with Tekken. I mean, Tekken is a hard game to play, but that's indicative of like every fighting game. Like people like they play the game for like a week or 2 days or whatever. Man, I'm not good yet, and they just give up. So on that front, I think that's just fighting games in general. But I mean, you gotta think about it. It's gonna be an investment, man. He's like, hey, Tekken Tag 3, y'all didn't really the second one didn't do that well. Y'all want us to make a third one? Now, if we make this third one, y'all gotta buy it, man. You gotta support it. You gotta come get it. Because if not, don't come asking for it again, man.
It's on you, E.
You know, I think when you do when you're thinking about making another Tekken Tag game, I think there is going to be the pitfall of like people might not buy the game, and there is like a whole bunch of balancing issues that you got to take into account. Like there's going to be a lot of characters, like a whole lot of characters, like from characters 1 through 8. Like that's a lot of characters to put into a game. I think it would be kind of cool, but I can understand the trepidation to like the risk averseness, I guess, of trying to like make a game like that. As far as like Mr. Gamerless was talking about putting a bunch of like all of the different mechanics in the game, that would be a pretty that's a huge task, I would think, to like try to cram all of that into the same game. Like they say rage, bounce, screwdriver, all of that stuff, plus like a tag mechanic. Then you have like the tag crashing and the tag throws and then the tag throw breaks and all of that. It's just it's a whole lot. I mean, I feel like the only good way that in my mind that you could do that is you might have to just say, hey, you know what, we're going to have to like omit some mechanics in order to make the game play right. You might just have to like just omit some of them because I mean, if you want a good game, you want to make a good game, and you want it to sell, then you're probably not going to be able to put everything in the game, or else it'll just like we say crushed under its own weight, I guess you could say. It was just too bloated. I mean, and some of those characters don't necessarily need to be in the game again. Like, I don't know I know some people want to see Sebastian again. I don't know if it's necessary to bring back Sebastian, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think like if you like go into it like not looking at it as like this thing where we have to cram every single thing that's ever been done in Tekken. Like the things that you need to bring back, of course, are all the music. You need to bring back all the soundtracks. That's what you need to bring back, and they all need to be their volume needs to be adjusted properly, because in Tekken Tag 2, I remember some of the tracks, the volume was not adjusted properly for like Tekken 3 and Tekken 4. Like I remember like the volume just wasn't right. So, I mean, but yeah, I think like if you really want to make money, then you're going to have to do some actual work here, and part of that work is going to be deciding what not to put in the game, because what you don't put in the game, in my mind, with a game like this, is just as important as what you do put into the game.
What do you know? Something me and Mr. MC Amazing seem like we agree on. All this stuff that this man is saying, like you acting like you gotta do it. You acting like somebody gotta you acting like somebody is literally taking you, grabbing you by the part of your body below your head, and basically saying, if you don't do this, I'm gonna slowly squeeze the life out of you. Ain't nobody making you do it. Like you like, well, all these characters and all this other stuff, bro. Ain't nobody telling you you got to put 150 characters in the game. Who making you do that? When MVC3 came out, everybody and their mama was like, man, I want all the characters from MVC2 back and some more. Capcom said, we ain't doing it. And y'all still love the game.
Do it. They could do what they could do it.
Man, they wasn't going to do that. Even if they couldn't do it, you not finna do that.
Ain't no way they weren't putting X-Men in that game.
Huh?
The rest of ain't no way they wouldn't put the rest of the X-Men.
They literally said, like, you got people that worked on the game basically said that they didn't put Cyclops in it because they felt like it was too many characters. You literally got people. You literally got the people who worked on the game saying that they're producers. So it's like, so they basically sitting there telling you it's too many. Like, we ain't doing it. So y'all can be mad, but they still played the game. And then it's like, well, we got heat and stuff now. Who said Tekken Tag Tournament gotta have heat and stuff in it? Why you got to do it? Y'all just brought it. Tekken 7 sold a ton. It's one of the top 3 best-selling fighting games of all time. Make it like Tekken 7. Apparently, people loved it. It ain't got all the heat and all that other stuff like Tekken 8 does. And it'll still have the rage and stuff that people knows from Tekken Tag Tournament 2. You even got to put rage arts and rage drives in it. You don't have to. We just liked playing Tekken in a tag form. That's what we liked. And then on top of that, like he was, I think Harada and them, especially since, Big Daddy Bandai over him, just like money, get all that money. They basically just got a taste from like Tekken 5 and Tekken 7, basically are 2 top 10 best-selling fighting games of all time. I think they just got that taste. And they just like, bro, if we don't feel like it's gonna sell at least 6 million or up, we ain't worried about it. I mean, I forgot the exact numbers, but Tekken 5 and Tekken 7 sold more than 10 million copies. Like I feel like he trying to hit a home run every time, bro. Like it ain't gonna be like that every time. Mm-mm. Come on, bro. My goodness. Well, we trying to make sure as many people play the game as possible, bro. Just say you want some money.
Yeah.
Stop. Well, I want to make sure little Jimmy can play it. You don't care about no little Jimmy. As long as he bought that game initially and you got his money, you would be like, all right, little Jimmy can go do whatever. I got his 60. The DLC and stuff ain't really for him anyway. I just got his initial 6. That's what you want. Like, so just say you want the man. Like, man, we just want everybody to play it. Stop, bro. Stop. You want money. But every one of them ain't gonna be like Tekken 7 or Tekken 5, bro. Come on, like, I mean, y'all doing better than Street Fighter. Street Fighter only got Tekken. Capcom only got Street Fighter 5 to sell 10 million copies. You can't even really count Street Fighter 2. I mean, of course, Street Fighter 2 is gonna sell that much. It was really the only game back then doing what it was doing, and they released like 7 different versions of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, Street Fighter ain't even on the list. Really, if you want to be honest, only 5. So, I mean, come on, like, not everyone gonna be. It's a reason why arena fighters and platform fighters are the top 10 best-selling fighting games of all time. Like, come on, we traditional fighters, bro. You doing this for the love of the game or for the love of the money? Like, let's be honest. So, all this stuff you saying, bro, who making you do this? Who making you? Who making you put 150 characters in the game? Who making you put heat and stuff in it? Who making you just all this stuff that you're saying? Like, we just want Tekken Tag. We love it because it's Tekken in tag form. That's what we here for. That's what we want. And you telling us all this stuff that don't mean a hill of beans to say we can't get it. But anyway, anybody else got anything to add?
I don't know, man. You just mentioned arena fighters, and what did Dragon Ball Budokai Sparking have in it? 30 different characters with the same versions of the same character.
Man, Dragon Ball been doing that before anybody was maxing for that stuff, man. So they backed themselves into a corner.
Tekken was doing that first because Tekken existed before Dragon Ball games.
They don't. Man, I'm telling them they don't have to do that, bro. They don't have to do it.
How many characters though did they have in the game that did that though? I mean, it was like not that many characters though, right? Like, I mean,
well, I know you got every version of Goku that exists and never they even thought to make it.
I'm talking about Tekken.
Oh.
Like how many characters? Like, I mean, look, so like across all of the game, like there's what, like 5, 6, maybe.
You talking about like copy characters or
yeah?
There's quite a few now because even Bruce, you got 3 Bruces now. You got Josie, Bruce, and Falcon.
No.
30 to 40 characters, bro. Even if you gave us 30 Tekken characters in the Tekken Tag Tournament 3, like, come on, bro. 30, like,
you're gonna say that Bruce you're gonna say that Josie plays exactly like Bruce?
I mean, she's not exact, but that's what she is. She's the new.
It's Bruce. Like she's a Muay Thai fighter, but she doesn't play exactly like Bruce. Man, like, I'm talking about characters like that are like. You say that Falcon Mom plays exactly like Josie? Well, no,
nobody like Forrest and Marshall they're different, but I mean, like it's essentially like the same character. Like King and Armor King, they're different. They are quite different, but they are still the same character.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
So they do just completely different moves.
Bro, have you played Armor King and played King before?
Yes.
Come on,
I know,
man.
like
Then
Armor
you
King
should
got
know.
the little wave dash, but I'm saying essentially that it's the same base. You just added different things to it. Nina and Anna, same base. It's basically the same character. All the Jacks, same
Whoa.
base, but they're pretty much the same character. The Mishimas,
Yo.
same base. Electric, sweet
No.
kick.
No, man. No.
Okay, no.
No.
Eddie,
No.
Christy,
You're gonna say
Tiger.
like, bro, if it was, bro, you're trying to say that like is like you could interchange Kazuya with what's called Heihachi? No,
Yes.
you can't do. No, you
It's
can't.
the same point.
They
It's the
don't
same
play
base.
exactly the same. That's like saying that
They
people
both have electric
that's-
wing God fist and the sweep kick.
Yeah, because they have the same kind of style, but they're not the same character.
I said they have same bases. Ken and Ryu, the same base, right? Are they not almost identical? Ken, Ryu, Shun, same base. Dan, same base. All
Bro, Ken and Ryu are basically the same character. They were basically the same character in Street Fighter 2. Like,
but they are also still the same base.
Whoa,
Even
y'all
though
got too much
there's
dip
a
on your
distinction.
chip now. We talking
they
about
were
Tekken. Y'all got too
basically
much
the
dip
same
on your chip.
character. We're talking about like what's called. There are moves that Kazuya has. Of course, he's gonna
So
have
Master Raven
similarities.
and Raven ain't pretty much the same character.
Master Raven and Raven, yeah, like they're. But I'm talking about like I'm saying that there aren't that many. Like you're talking about characters that have similar fighting styles.
Roger,
that have
Alex,
similar say characters that have similar fighting styles.
Xiao Yu and her friend.
They're not the same as Kazuya and Heihachi
June
though.
and what's the name? Oscar.
Bro,
There's a lot. There's a lot of crossovers in Tekken with the characters.
June and Oscar they have similar fighting style, but they're not exactly the same though.
They are very similar.
It's like
I'm not saying they're exactly the same.
That's what I'm talking about, though. That's what I'm talking about. Sebastian and Lily. What's the difference between Sebastian and Lily? What's the difference between Xiaoyu and her friend? Like, what was her name? April? What's the difference? There's not that much of a difference. They're basically the same character with a very minute difference. We're talking, you're talking about Kazuya and Heihachi. They are not the same kind of characters.
They have very similar, though.
They have similar styles, yes, but they have a bunch of different moves that do not have any overlap. Like, come on, man. Like, I could understand if you said Tiger and Eddie, you know, or something like that. That would make sense. But characters that have that if we're learning from the same person, and you're so like, oh yeah, well, you know, Kazuya learned from Heihachi, and they're basically the same character. They have the same, yeah, of course they have the same base. They're the Mishimas.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you have, like no other fighting game does what Tekken does. You don't have that many characters in other fighting games that have the exact same base. Like even like the ninjas in Mortal Kombat are vastly different. They were just literally palette swaps back in the day, but they are vastly different. They have none of the same moves hardly. You might have a slide or something like that, but a teleport, like a scorpion teleport, is nowhere near what Noob Saibot is.
That's not the same thing, though, man. That's like somebody. It's like basically saying like, oh man, you know what? We're trying to save money. We're trying to save money.
I mean, that's kind of what it was.
On character models. We're trying to make them save money on character models. So we have different characters. Like we just like, yo, just copy and paste the same.
Kind of what they did, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like in Tekken, it's not the same thing. Like I'm talking about exactly the same character, copy and pasted, 1-to-1 ratio, same character.
Oh, of course, that's not gonna happen.
How many characters are like that in Tekken? How many characters are like that?
All right, we need a poll. Well, we want people to. Do y'all think that are all these characters too vastly different where they just could put them all in the game, or they're characters that are too similar? It's like, okay, this is kind of the same character with a few slight adjustments and differences here. Like it's all throughout Tekken. You got Harang and his master.
I'm definitely gonna turn this into a clip and put that poll up. But at the end of the day, to get back to the point, it was 48 to 51 characters. You got people saying different things. Let's just say 48 characters in Tekken 7. Like, bro, you could easily just do 30 for Tekken Tag Tournament 3. Like, you don't have to bring everybody and their mama back. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, all this stuff is forced. I could say I could get it'll be a little bit harder to say like, okay, Tekken is in this transition now, and this is what everybody is playing and what everybody is used to now, and then to make Tekken Tag Tournament 3 and have it play like totally different. But still, at the end of the day, if you know that's gonna be the issue, if you release the game that is just too much, it's too much. Like, well, don't make it too much then.
Yeah.
See, you run into
Don't
a
do
problem
it.
there.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
what you just said about MVC3, what happened? Oh, Capcom, we can't put all them characters. What happened 9 months later? They put more characters in the game. Not even a year later. What happened? They put more characters in the game.
Well, the thing about it is, maybe if they take it more slowly and start off slow and then build, it would be more manageable than coming out the gate saying we go promise you all this. Like, so it's like this can work. It's just I feel like they just got these expectations of what they felt like they've said already. Well, it was a failure already. So you basically saying if we do it that way, it's going to fail. How about we just don't do it that way so it won't fail? And everybody can have the game. You can make your money. I'm not saying this is going to be the easiest thing in the world, but shoot, you trying to make money. I mean, my goodness, you running a business like that appeals to people. So yeah, you gonna have to like do some finagling and stuff. But bro, we won't Tekken Tag Tournament 3.
I mean,
Harada been saying some stuff lately anyway that I'm just like, man, you say you go. I'm wondering, is it Bandai or is it you? Because you've been saying stuff like, man, AI go eventually come into the games and they go do 50 hit combos off your thoughts. Or, yeah, we need to, like, have it more, offensive heavy because we need as many people to play the game as possible. That's what you hear him say all the time. We need as many people to play the game as possible. I'm like, you say you go retire after Tekken 9. I wonder how Tekken 9 go look and how Tekken go look after that. Because then we'll know, okay, was that you that's doing that or was it Bandai doing that? Because you've been saying some stuff lately that in the future it's gonna be like, bro, I don't know how Tekken gonna look. Are we even gonna be messing with this?
Because I mean, like real talk, like the way he talks and stuff, like saying stuff like that, it almost like you say, it makes it sound like, like, yo, you feel like your job is on the line every time you come out and make an announcement, like, oh, we got offensive heavy, like if we got to get as many people to play the game, it's like, oh, okay, I understand you want to make sales, but I mean, do you really? I mean, is that really necessary? Is that really the formula? Like after all the stuff you've seen and all the fighting games that everybody has played, all the ones that people like, that's your conclusion? Or is that, is that your actual conclusion? Or is that what the math says? That's what the math says, is that people like more offensive heavy games and stuff. Like, it's like, well, regardless of whether you think that or not, get out there and say it anyway. It's like, and like, yeah, well, Rexon brought up a good point. What is Tekken 9 going to look like if you're constantly chasing trends? You're constantly chasing what you think is going to sell. Like eventually all the stuff that you like about Tekken is going to just get lost in the sauce, and you're just going to end up with like this amalgamation of what everybody told you, what the analysis says. The analysis says that this is what sells. This is what people want to buy. It's like, and not even doing any kind of like real. It's like almost in like the NBA when like you're trying to draft like a good player, and instead of like say going and seeing like. Was like, I remember what Shannon Sharp was saying. What does the eye test tell you, right? Not what the numbers are telling you. Well, what does the eye test tell you? You go out there and you see a good player, and they say, wow, this player looks like they would be a good match with this team, but the numbers don't match up. The numbers don't say that. Well, we're going to trust the numbers. Why trust the numbers when you're looking at this person do what they do and you're saying this person will be a good fit? And now forget it. We're just gonna do what the numbers tell us. Do what like you have like the information. Like it's a social media age. Where are you pulling your information from?
That's why Mike D'Antoni don't got a title yet.
Huh? What'd you say?
So that's why Mike D'Antoni don't got a title yet, because the numbers just said just keep shooting threes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. Like, you were like, yeah, just keep shooting threes. Oh, you shot a midi? You shot a 2-pointer? You did a layup? Well, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot because it wasn't a 3. What? Are you kidding me? Like, it's a high percentage shot. Like, yeah, let me take this lower percentage shot from all the way over here because it does one more point. overthinking it. You're overthinking it, just like they always do. You thinking, you're paying yourself into a corner. You overthought it. Don't overthink it. Simplify it. That's what people want. They don't want you to overcomplicate things. Stop it.
And that's why,
And when
you
they
know,
simplify, people gonna be like, man, this game ain't got no sauce like we thought it was gonna have.
Oh my gosh.
well, you know, people go complain regardless. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, you will always see people that complain because the people who like it probably ain't gonna say as much or be as vocal as the people who don't like it. So it's
They're
always
too busy playing the game.
You can always see people who don't like it. But that's why, like, when Tekken 8 came out, a lot of the pros or a lot of people that, I mean, even just pros, but a lot of people was just like, oh, this bout is least Tekken has been Tekken. And so, like, Harada's still pushing this soapbox of just like, we got to get as many people. We got to do this. We got to do that. That's why, like, once again, I said, I think we go get to like Tekken 9, Tekken 10, and we go be looking back like, what is this? Like, are we still messing with this game? Like, are we like Virtual Fighter is in a real good position to come out and at least get some type of stronghold on like 3D fighters? Because I don't know, the way Harada and Man not talking, I'm like, man, this ain't looking good. Like, all y'all care about is money. This man said AI is gonna come in and basically you go think of something and do 30 hits. I'm like, bro, you can throw that in the garbage. Like, just literally throw that in the garbage.
Yeah, that was wild.